the markets take another dip to restart and refuel this moon boy ship. My dreams may be futile, but it's you say, well, my dreams may be futile, but Bitcoin bull keeps charging away. Oh, you see, yeah, my Bitcoin bull keeps charging away. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm not a pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm not a pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm the
And we are on, we are live, we are here. People, everyone watching this now or later, we should have a very warm welcome to Sukesh. He's back here. If you haven't talked to him or listened to the interview before, you can. It will be linked in the descriptions. So welcome on the show, Sukesh.
Thank you very much, Anders, and glad to be here, as always.
Yeah, last time I forgot to hit one button. That button is pressed now, so all is good. I haven't made that mistake any other time. Last time I hit the stream from my software, but on YouTube I probably missed the button when I hit it, so we were talking to each other in a closed setting. But so, the OIG is here. You have a wax mug. I have my wax mug today, so we are twins there. That's good. So, Office of Inspector Generals, that's something that you are running for.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
I think it means a lot. I usually like the first thing I have been always interested in governance related discussions, and that kind of motivated also me to join Tedla's ecosystem in the very beginning days as well. And I really like what WAX has been doing for the last 1.5 years now, and it has been successful, I would say, in the whole EOS-IO space. I think there are many good things with the OIG system that worked out well and motivated many BPs or guilds to be much more active and contribute towards the ecosystem. And that's kind of what kept the WAX going so far, and with atomic assets and everything.
Yeah.
These are the things that came out of guild contribution. So I think it's going to be an important framework and the governance system within the whole community moving forward as well. So it's super important, I would say.
Yeah, and for anyone watching this, Sukesh is a block producer on multiple EOS-IO based blockchains. He is running a guild on WAX. Guilds on WAX are those that verify and sign transactions, provide infrastructure for all the dApps, games, and everything like that. So that is his background going into this. And currently there are 3 people running for the Office of Inspector Generals. The election is done on Sunday. 2 of those are living in Sweden, which I find kind of interesting because you are one of those.
Yeah.
So are the Swedes taking over WAX, or what is your take there?
Yeah, as you can see on the screen today, we are 2 people from Sweden here. So I pretty much feel like that when I saw Javier and also yourself and many other people from the WAX community, very active from Sweden. So I definitely feel super proud. Even though I'm not originally from Sweden, I have been here for quite some time now. So I feel really good about it. And I think once you're in Sweden, you completely have a different mindset. So I think it also adds value in your work, in your day-to-day stuff, and also in the things that you're building as a leader or as an entrepreneur. So I think, yeah, Sweden brings you a different perspective in the world, and Sweden has a lot of reputation as well. So it's good.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, we just gave you a short introduction of what you're doing, but who are you, and in like a short pitch, who are you and what have you done in the past?
Yeah, sure. So as you can see, I'm originally from India. I'm an Indian. I've been here in Sweden for almost 7 years now. I have a master's in telecommunications. I worked at Ericsson and many other companies, big companies and corporates, as an innovation consultant, blockchain consultant. And in the past, I have been managing the data center for Ericsson in one of their departments as a system administrator. So I have very hands-on experience working with different servers and network infrastructure and so forth. But during the last 4 years, I've been very active in the blockchain space, and also I'm also the chairman for Swedish Blockchain Association. In addition, I have two other startups, Unbiased and CryptoScat. CryptoScat is a tax application for crypto industry, which is coming soon to Wax as well.
And scat is not the English word, but the Swedish word for taxes, just so you know.
Yeah, like scat is like in the Nordic region, I think it's called taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have another company as well called Unbiased, which is a data marketplace for AI industry. So you can buy and sell data sets basically as NFTs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good. And this crypto taxes that you are building, that is something that you are providing for the Wax ecosystem, as far as I know. And I guess it's good to go into it. What will that be, and how can people use that? Just a short introduction of what it is.
Yeah, sure. So today we already support kind of Wax integration. So basic all the token transfers can be tracked and everything. So that is already being working. But right now we are in the process of adding functionalities for NFTs and also the different specific things like GBM rewards and stuff. So those are super specific to Wax. So those are some things that we are adding in the coming weeks. And also, like right now, the product is still in private beta mode. We have been testing with a small group of testers right now. And soon, during the next 1 2 weeks, it will go live and people can start using it, basically. So, and also we're trying to create some kind of incentive program for Wax community or the Wax token holders as well. So if you hold some kind of NFT or some Wax tokens, you get some discount in the application as well. Yeah, it can basically support different jurisdictions wherever you live. It doesn't really matter. So we provide FIFO, LIFO, and different kinds of calculations, which are in different parts of the world. But for like people here in Sweden, you can also get like you can just download like a PDF file, your tax report, like a K4 form. It's called K4 form. So you can just download it and submit your tax reports.
And this is very interesting for those that want to report their taxes, as I assume everyone wants. Blink, blink. In Sweden, actually, 3,000 people has reported Bitcoin trades last year, and my guess is that that's a very low number.
Yeah.
So this service that you are building on the side, what will the pricings be for that for people interested?
I think it's going to be competitive pricing. So the pricing is going to be based on the number of transactions you have in your account, in different blockchain accounts. It's not only just Wax, right? You might have traded in different places, like you might have different cryptocurrencies. So we are providing integrations to different exchanges, Wax, DeFi ecosystems, and so forth. So it's going to be really modular pricing. So if you don't really have any DeFi transactions or NFT transactions, you don't have to pay higher fees. So the starting price is going to be from 25 euros or $25, I would say.
Okay, that's a small sum to get all of this sorted out automatically. Yeah. Very nice. So that's a little bit about who you are and some marketing for your product, which I'm very excited to see. What is Wax for you?
Well, I think when I initially came into Wax, I was super excited about the gaming ecosystem and the gaming background that the founding team has. And that kind of brought me into it. And now, after 1 year, more than 1 year now, I think Wax is going to be the leader in this space when it comes to NFTs or the gaming industry or the collectibles industry. I think it has proven to be a leader so far, and I think it will lead the way forward as well. I think it found its niche compared to other blockchains, and we are actively pursuing that niche. I think it's super good, and each and every day I see new posts in the community that a new artist is coming and creating new NFTs. So it's super interesting to see that. And right now, as we cannot go out and everything in different parts of the world, everyone is realizing that you have to go digital, and artists and everyone is doing that. So it's the right time for Wax, and things worked out. So it's really good.
Yeah, and we are starting to see games like Alien Worlds, and yesterday I played the Cogs game for the first time. So that is games
Okay.
where you can actually earn a little bit while playing. And for me, like
Yeah.
if you're based in Sweden, the daily earnings for most will be quite low. But if you live in a place where your minimum wage is quite low, like in India, do you think that like the mobile games where you can earn like $1 or $2 or $3 per day, will that be something that is interesting for India?
Yeah, I think definitely. Like many people in India, I think almost 25% still live under the poverty line. So, and everyone, the irony is that everyone has access to the internet in India these days, more than the people that live in India, apparently. So, I think that's one of the unique positions where India sits in right now. So, you have the connectivity, but you don't have the necessary access to these kind of applications. So I think this is definitely going to be something people would be interested in. It's just a matter of educating them and reaching out to those communities.
Yeah, because from what I can tell, pretty much everyone has a smartphone, and it's
Yes,
not that expensive. Even those that don't have a lot of money have a smartphone.
yes, yes.
Uh,
Almost everyone these days.
yeah, and like if you run a small shop or you have a day job where you're a little bit passive, except when you have customers, some of these games, if you can increase your earnings by a few dollars, that can make a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. And I think gig economy in India is like super rising right now with all these freelancing platforms and micro tasking platforms. You don't know if I say this, like uh, 80 or 90% of the AI industry, all the data that is being fueled into the AI industry is done by the Indian market. So everyone is sitting there and doing these micro tasks like identifying a car, identifying an apple or whatever it is. So basically, these kind of micro tasking or like games, I think it's going to be the future.
Yeah, and I agree. It will. It's a way for people that have less to earn something from people that have more. I guess that's how we can.
Yeah,
Thanks for the internet, people can work from everywhere.
yeah.
So okay, that's the kind of sidetrack, but I found it interesting to talk to someone that actually come from the community, which I think will be the biggest ones to play these games. So what is the job for inspector generals in your view?
Well, as I told last time as well, like I think it's a super important role. You have to be really objective when you're evaluating different guilds. You have to be super transparent because uh, we had issues previously, like very in the early days, or even now in the recent months as well. Some guilds are also inspector general, so which is a conflict of interest. Uh, and I think it's changing with the last two elections. Now we have two neutral members in the IG community, and we already see a lot of improvement in terms of communication or the way they're approaching things and the way they're giving feedbacks. So I really appreciate that. We have seen a lot of improvements just since from the last election as well. Uh, so I think it's going to be an important component or framework moving forward, because when Wax is moving with this fast pace in this direction with the DeFi and also the gaming industry and NFTs, you need a reliable network. You need a group of validators or the guilds, the block producers, which are reliable. And right now we are seeing this trend where each and every month we are seeing one or another guild getting retired and going down. So uh, I kind of feel like Office of Inspector General has some kind of role in that, in relation to that, because of the requirements to be a guild, or the huge pressure in order to gain points or whatever it is. We are seeing a reduced number of guilds right now, so which is not good when the network is rising so fast, and you have less and less API providers, like I think Sweden and Atomic Assets, and there are a couple of others. Basically, they are serving the whole network today, and which is not good.
Yeah.
So you need more guilds which can provide different services, and OIG is going to be the vital component in that, who encourages guilds and tries to work with them and tries to help in their own businesses as well. So
Yeah, and like it's the same thing I talked about with Javier yesterday. In the IG, what people get rated for is kind of the same thing for everyone.
yeah,
They are comparing, like they are not directly comparing Anchor to Blocks or Atomic Hab to this channel, for example. They are comparing them differently because they are different kinds of products.
yeah.
But I know that you have ideas on how to improve this. So what idea is this? As you talk, I will also bring up the image that you have made.
Cool. So I think one of the first ideas for me, as I have always stated during the last elections as well, is being much more objective, like having a much more objective system. Because if you look at today, the products and services evaluation, it's much more subjective. Each and every guild submits a product, and at the end of the day, the OIGs decide how many points that does each product gets. And there is always, if you look from the research Javier did with reaching out to guilds, I think one of the top questions was, or the top issues was the products and services evaluation. So I think it can be improved with a much more objective framework. As I stated last time, there is this industry standard called TRL system, technology readiness level. So I worked on a bit on that, and then I tried to put together something for wax, which suits the wax community. So this is a preliminary proposal, which is called wax readiness level. So which is like a 7-stage process. So when you're starting with a product or an idea, you have to be very detailed and you have to be committed with that product. If you look in the past with many guilds, many of them submitted different ideas, but some took like 6 months, 1 year, and still haven't delivered. For instance, if we take the example of Wax Labs, or like even the OIG platform itself, it almost took more than 6 months to get it done from the initial, and the guilds who have been rewarding for this product have been getting points for 6 months or more. And if you compare that with a game or another product who hasn't been given the same chance of giving 6 months time, which isn't fair in my opinion. So we need an objective system where anyone, whichever product it is, should be able to put in that particular stages. So the guilds themselves can say, okay, my product is in this stage right now, so evaluate accordingly. So then it's completely objective and avoids any questions, and you can have a point system in relation to that as well. And if you look at the stages I put together, like the last 2 stages can reward the products like Atomic Hub or Alien Worlds, for instance, which has a huge customer base or the user base today. So, and it's growing. And you can reward these kind of products as well. And I also introduced a concept called negative points. So if you propose a product and you don't deliver it at the end of the day in the next 1-2 evaluations, you actually get negative points. So you're only submitting the products or services that you're actually committed to and willing to spend time and effort. So right now, people submitting 2 or 3 different products and only one of them is working, or nothing, like none of them are working. So it's also like focus, right? So for guilds, it's much better if they just focus on one product and try to earn the maximum points in their product, rather than focusing on 2 to 3 different products and trying to gain for the points. And it has been the case even for us, because I think people, whatever they call it, like point farming or whatever, at the end of the day, everyone here is trying to do a business and everyone is trying to compete. So everyone will do whatever it takes to get there. So when you're building a system, you have to acknowledge that, and you have to be in the reality. And that's the reason I think wax readiness level system makes it much more objective and gives everyone a fair chance.
Yeah, and great walkthrough. And for most of the time where you were talking, people could also read all the steps and see how it looks. And I agree there. I mean, our team, we often provide small tools that help the infrastructure layer, and that's the kind of products we make outside of like this YouTube channel. I put in a lot of hours into this, but this doesn't count as a product,
Yes.
which it is a little bit weird because it is a product, even though it's a community-focused one. And product usually it seems to be things that you build in code and put out. And that's where like Javier's approach, which also CC32 has been talking about a lot of times, is to evaluate teams for different things.
Exactly.
So if
That's
you are
also
strong
the
in
idea.
building software, that's where you should be evaluated, as long as you provide a reliable infrastructure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something I have to take into consideration as well. Like, if you're good at something, why not just pursue that? Like, there are many teams out there who are super good at technical stuff, and there are many teams out there who are good at like outreach, and there are some teams who are just like lagom, like you say in Swedish, good at like our
Average,
like,
but not really the
yeah.
correct word.
So I think it's good to have that kind of system which rewards what they're good at, rather than we have a system like everyone tries to do everything and nothing works out efficiently. So yeah, it's kind of like losing focus when you're like in a startup. You just focus on one thing and get that done, and then you move on to the next one. So right now it's just chaotic.
Yeah, I know personally, I think I have launched 4 or 5 or 6 different small projects. Some
Yeah.
of them are being worked on all the time. Some are being worked on a few times per month. Some are being worked
Exactly.
on every 3 months. And yeah, it has to be evaluated in some good way. And if I take a step back, I can see that based on the first evaluations, we have come a long way.
Oh yeah.
But I think we should
Definitely.
never settle down.
Yeah, definitely. And the only thing I didn't like so far was we have been discussing these things for almost 1 year. The same ideas, the same concepts and proposals have been put forward by CC and other community members for 1 year now. But the OIG team members, the original ones, haven't made any changes. And that's kind of like the thing. Okay, if you're going to get elected again, like what kind of change are you going to bring? You have the opportunity for 1 year. So you haven't made any changes. So I think that's one of the things as well people have to look. And I think the community members have to be much more engaged in these kind of discussions. I'm sure like it's improving, but I think it could have been much better, because right now pretty much everyone's voting. The major token holders are the guilds who know the issues and stuff, but still.
Yeah. As I talked with Joseph and Javier, I really think we need to have some kind of easy to read summary by the OIG team provided for all the token holders after each of these collections of data points. So each month we need one of these summaries to help educate and inform everyone, because reading all of the information teams provide, that's a lot of time, and that has to be summarized.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, they're getting a full-time job with $5,000 salary. So why not spend a couple of hours and do it?
Yeah, you're reading it either way, so make some notes and then summarize it at the end and then do it together.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good. And okay, that's the OIG, and we talked a little bit about the guilds as well. But what is the work? What is the work for a guild on Wax, in your opinion?
I think guilds, the first priority is always providing the reliable infrastructure for the network, with not only the block producer or the validator nodes, but also providing a good reliable infrastructure for applications or API services. I think it's super important if majority of the guilds that are out there today can do this, and the applications in the networking take advantage of that. I think that's a super good improvement in the Wax community today. And we don't have that. I'm sad that we don't have it, but if guilds can focus much more on improving their infrastructure, I know I like the idea of bringing new guilds from gaming companies and stuff, but like, come on, they're developer companies, that they're not system administrator or network infrastructure background people. So at the end of the day, you don't have competence people that are coming into the ecosystem. So we need to educate and try to attract more guilds from the wider EOS.io or like even in the Ethereum communities and so forth. Today, we only have like 30 plus or 35 or something, and it's reducing every month, which isn't good for the ecosystem. So I would really encourage community to look for different proposals and ideas that each one of us put together and vote accordingly. And one of the second points that I'm addressing in my candidacy is the unfair requirements for each and every guild. Say you are an active guild, you have a lot of rewards compared to the standbys. Since last 2 months, it has been improved for standbys, but before that, it was like super less. And it's the same level of expectations, which isn't really good. And maybe you can have a different system where I, as a node operator or a guild, can decide in which league I want to compete in, if I want to compete in an active league or in a standby league. So based on that, we can attract more standbys to have a reliable network infrastructure. So if I'm a standby, I don't have to work as much as an active provider and competing in doing all this, building all these products and services, which doesn't make any sense. So that's one of the points I want to improve in the OIG framework, to have a system where a guild can decide in which league they want to compete in, if are active or standby. And the top priority for me is going to be the network infrastructure. So that's going to be the top priority, and the efforts put forward by the guilds would be rated accordingly.
I actually like that idea because the top 21 producers of blocks on Wax, the top 21 guilds, they are earning more, so they have more resources to put into projects. And rating them differently is probably a good idea to make sure that we have more standbys that has reliable infrastructure, and that should probably be the only key element that they are rated on. Yeah. Unless they say, hey, we are also building things, start to rate us to go upwards. And I don't think that's a bad idea, to be honest. Yeah, nice. So, okay.
It kind of creates an open system for everyone to just join in, because if you're here outside the Wax community or Wax guilds community today, everyone thinks that Wax has this super centralized governance system, which is super difficult to get through. And it's kind of demotivating many guilds out there to even consider joining Wax, so which isn't good.
Yeah, I know at least two technical sysadmins that run nodes on other places that don't want to enter because it requires too much effort to build products, and that's not what they want to do. If you get elected, what can you offer for the Office of Inspector Generals? I guess, except of these, like, what can you direct go and do with your time, and how can token holders benefit from that?
So there are some of the proposals I put in my candidacy proposal. So as I discussed just before, but one other important thing I want to improve for the whole community and the token holders is just being much more active and joining the community influencers like yourself. And almost every month, I want to have a slot where I can come in and talk about what happened during this month. What kind of changes did the OIG team make? And how is Wax governance evolving, and what kind of new guilds did we get, or what kind of new products are coming into the ecosystem, and so forth. So these are the things I want to be there and share much more about them. So communication wise, I want to improve that when I am in the Wax as an IG Inspector General.
Yeah, and for anyone watching, what you have to do, if you have stake tokens, 1 or 10 or 1,000 or 1,000,000, whatever, go to oig.wax.io, log in the top right corner. You can do it with Cloud Wallet, Anchor, Ledger. I think you can do it directly with Ledger. If not, you can use it with Anchor. So just log in there, and then you go to the vote page, and there are 3 candidates. You can read about them. You can read their. You can view candidate in there. There will also be a link in the bottom. I don't know why that link doesn't work as a clickable. It's just in text. That has to be fixed ASAP. And then you can just copy this and open in another document. You can read the full proposal where they have ideas what they can contribute. And just go here and add votes to one of these 3 characters, whoever you think can do the best job for the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you have any last things that you want to mention before, or do you feel that you have shared what you need today?
Yeah, I think we covered pretty much most of the stuff about the OIG. And one other thing I want to say to the community is like we have been actively working with the GPK Battles game since last couple of months. It's been a tough time. So it's gonna be a multiplayer game that is coming soon. So you can start using your GPK cards.
Very nice.
We even spoke with the GPK team, Tops team, about this, and it's gonna be we're gonna start with the exotic cards. So get started. Like it's gonna be out there soon in the next 1 or 2 weeks.
Oh, very nice. So will that be a website base where you log in and?
Yeah, you can even access it from mobile as well, but it's going to be a website based. And when we are starting, like it's going to be a simple assets contract linked.
Very nice. We need that.
Yeah, and exotic cards are mainly on the simple assets today, so it's going to be linked towards that. And it's going to be a simple game starting with, but we have a lot of plans moving forward. So you can start basically trading cards or stealing cards from the others.
So you say a battle game. When I think about card games and battle games, I go and think about Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone. I also think about like Dark Country has this hero battle game where you choose a battle and you choose attack moves and then you wait for the next turn. What can people expect from this?
It's going to be, the first version is going to be a game of chance. So we have used all the core products of Wax, the RNG, the random number generators, and it's going to be a multiplayer game as well. So you bring your cards, and there is a decision factor which decides who is going to win. So you have to be a bit strategic as well. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a game of chance. So you get to steal, if you win, you get to steal one of the cards from the other player. So
by random, or do you get to choose one of the ones?
It's going to be random. So all the cards are same. Like it's going to be the base category that we're going to start with, base cards in the exotic category. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Like it's a simple game. We have a lot more plans to add, but we want to start with a really small game, which everyone can enjoy, and then we can add more functionalities to it later on.
Very nice. I'm excited to see how that works, and I'm happy to see that we get some more tools and use cases for the simple asset, because competition is what we need to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is awesome. Thanks for coming on, and I hope that everyone has gotten all the information they need. They gotten something new out of this. And go and vote with your stake tokens. The ecosystem needs it.
Yeah, don't forget to support me, and hopefully I get elected. Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity.
A Bitcoin bull is all I got left. Sold my clothes, gold no less. Wolves are suckling, hollow hands. This man's stronger than the